Hi, welcome. I'm Nira Berry, life and happiness coach and your host of Happy and Healthy, where we explore and discover all the many ways of keeping you feeling happy and healthy. And make sure you stay tuned to the end for my Good to Know segment, where I've always got something good to share with you. And I always search the world for all the different types of healing modalities. And today we're going to focus in on hypnosis. So please welcome my guest today, Donald Pelles of Hypnosis Silver Spring. So thank you, Donald, for being here. And I'm really interested in finding out all about hypnosis. So why don't you start out by just telling us, like, what is hypnosis? There's a lot of misconceptions. Yeah. So what is it?
Well, hypnosis is an altered state. We usually think of it as a trance state, although that's not always apparent. But we go in and out of trances all the time without thinking about it or noticing it. Some examples are when you're really deep in a book, or when you're engaged in a TV show or a movie, or just when you're daydreaming. Yeah.
So even just daydreaming, you're in, because you're just focusing on one thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, watch a child sometime that's just playing and talking to herself, and maybe she's got some other people she's talking with, and yeah, that's a trance.
Yeah.
Some people say children are always in trance.
So how did it come about? When did this, this method of healing, when did this first start? Can you tell us a little bit of background about it?
I think it goes back thousands of years. There are these kind of traditions of altered states, use of altered states, and we go in and out of altered states all the time. But hypnosis is a deliberate use of altered states. But shamans, ministers, for thousands of years have employed altered states, both for themselves and for others. In our Western tradition, Anton Mesmer.
Was that like mesmerizing?
Yeah. Mesmer was a French priest, and he believed he was magnetizing people. So he would have people stand around in vats of water with big iron pillars in them, and he cured people of all kinds of ailments and illnesses. And the French put up this commission to study whether Mesmer's work was scientific. Benjamin Franklin was on it. They concluded there was no scientific evidence for what he was doing, but they never said it didn't work. It did work.
Yeah.
And by the way, we talk about a hypnotic induction. That comes from Mesmer, because he thought he was magnetizing people, like a magnetic induction or an induction coil, same word. Yeah.
Interesting. So why do people come, let's say, why do people come to you for hypnosis? What are some of the reasons?
They come for a lot of things, habits like smoking or drinking or nail biting. What are some others? They come for me to help them lose weight, come for anxiety, for sleep issues. They don't sleep well. Let's see, phobias, pain. I'm real good with pain, both emotional pain and physical pain. So a lot of different issues.
And when people come to you for, and we'll get into some of the different ones and how you do it, but when people come to you, is this something that, like, for instance, we'll maybe use like a phobia, for example. If somebody came to you, like, is this something that you can help within a few sessions, or can it take years?
Usually it's a few sessions.
Really?
It's not like psychotherapy where you're going week after week for months and years.
And you're not looking as to, like, the reasons why necessarily, or?
Well, that can come up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you an interesting story.
Okay.
This woman came to me and said, I haven't slept in 20 years. 20 years. Well, of course she had probably slept in some way, but she certainly hadn't slept well in 20 years. And we worked through it in 2 or 3 sessions.
Really?
With
Oh, I know a lot of people that I could send to you for that.
yeah.
Seems like everybody I know nowadays is struggling with that.
Yeah.
Really, it's something that has,
Well, we had never
modern life.
talked about the reasons for it, but we worked through it using various modalities that I use. So then she comes to me for the next session. She says, I remember now what happened. This is after several sessions,
Yeah.
after we had largely resolved the issue. She says, 20 years ago, I was about to be married, and on my wedding day, the guy I was going to marry ran off and left me, basically left her at the altar.
Yeah.
She said, I went over to my girlfriend's house, and I thought to myself, if I don't go to sleep, it won't be over.
Oh.
But that came after several sessions and after we had largely resolved the problem.
So she had that realization.
She had that
Yeah.
realization. So it's backwards from the way people usually think of it.
Yeah.
They think if I just knew the reason,
Yeah.
then we'd fix it.
And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't need the
Sometimes,
reason. You
or
just wanna
sometimes we
fix
do
it.
know the reason,
Yeah.
and it doesn't fix it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
tell us briefly, how did you get into hypnosis? Did you have it done
It's
yourself?
a third career.
Oh, okay.
I used to be a math professor. Like I started that 50 years ago. And I did that for 6 years. I didn't really like academia. I eventually found my way into software development. I did that for 28 years.
And then you got into hypnosis.
Yes.
How did you get into
So I was
hypnosis?
surfing the web, and I typed in hypnosis, and I cannot really tell you why.
But you had the connection with it, something.
I'd always been kind of interested in it. I'd never pursued that interest.
Yeah.
I'd never studied it. But I'd always been kind of interested in the idea. I'd been hypnotized once or twice. So I typed in hypnosis. I ended up on this website, wendy.com, Wendy with an I. And there are all these things you can download and buy, of course, whether books, recordings.
So did you go in yourself for hypnosis?
Yeah. So I downloaded what she called an introductory trance. It was about a 12, 15-minute recording.
Mm-hmm.
And when I listened to the recording, she guides you into a trance state, into hypnosis. And then she says, whenever you see the color red, you will. And then I fill in the blank.
Oh.
So I said to myself in trance, and I thought, well, I don't have any really bad habits, but I've been cracking my knuckles for over 50 years. I started cracking my knuckles when I was about 11, and I had tried to stop, and I'd never been able to. So I said, in trance, whenever I see the color red, I'll feel this warm, healing glow on my fingers, and I won't have any need to crack them. And I haven't cracked my knuckles since.
Wow, that's amazing.
At first, whenever I felt like they needed cracking, because that's how it feels, I would look around for something red. And then I would get that feeling. And after a few weeks, that impulse to crack them just went away, and I don't even think about it now.
Wow.
Yeah. And I started thinking, wow, what else can we do with this?
Yeah. Just think of how many other things you could change.
So I started looking on the web for hypnosis, and there's a lot out there, some of it good and some of it not so good. And after a couple months went by, I told my wife, I said, honey, I'm interested in hypnosis. She jumps back. She says, you haven't hypnotized me, have you? I said, no, it's more the other way around.
Yeah, people are very afraid of that. I think that they're afraid that somebody's going to have control over them and make them do something that they're uncomfortable with, and
Right.
and they'll be embarrassed later. I understand that that's a common.
Yeah, I think it is. So then when she calms down, she says, well, where are you going with this? What do you want to do with this? And I said, well, I think I'd like to learn the other side of it. I'd like to learn how to hypnotize people. So I looked around, I found a teacher, and I enrolled in a hypnotherapy class, and I absolutely loved it. And at the end of the class, I had a certification as a hypnotherapist, and I thought, well, here's my next career. And that was 12 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And first of all, I just want to mention that your voice is so soothing that I feel like just listening to your voice right now, I feel my whole body just relaxing.
Yeah, I'll shake you every once in a while.
I mean, you know, really, you've got like the perfect voice for it. It's really amazing. So, when somebody actually goes for hypnosis, and how long does it last? Like how long, you know, do you actually have them in a hypnotic state for?
Not for that long. It can be 5 minutes. It can be 20 minutes. Some of the other modalities that I do that are really altered states, that are hypnosis or like hypnosis, that can last for an hour, hour and 50, occasionally.
And
Not usually that long, but it can.
I think I read that nobody will do something that they don't want to do. Like, you know, they don't have to be afraid of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that, you know, because
Yeah.
I think that's...
You're not going to go against your values.
Right, right. So I think that's important to say.
Yeah. And really, I tell my clients, and it's true, I don't do anything to you. That's, we say, you know, the language pattern is, I hypnotize you, but I don't do anything to you. You're doing it. Mm-hmm. So I guide you, I instruct you, I help you to access that altered state that's part of your mental equipment. But you're the one doing it. I'm just the guide. Another way to say that is all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
I'm helping you to access that mental state that you've actually had and been going in and out of all your life.
Yeah, so yeah, that's I want to speak more about that self-hypnosis when we come back from our break. But that's one of the things that I actually utilized myself many years ago when I was about to have surgery, and it was like a 12.5-hour procedure, and I was so nervous. And I once went to somebody for hypnosis, and he taught me how to just kind of repeat a certain phrase or certain thoughts, and to help me get into that healing mode, and it really helped me. So I want to talk more about that.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm Nira Berry, the host of Happy and Healthy, and we're going to take a short break, so come on right back. Stay tuned.
Introducing Ride on Flex, Montgomery County Department of Transportation's new on-demand transit service to help you get around and define Rockville and Glenmont-Wheaton zones. Riding the Flex is easy. Download the Ride on Flex app. Select your pickup and drop-off locations within the zone. And go to your pickup location, a corner near you. And you ride for $2 or less. Visit rideonflex.com for service areas and hours of operation.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy, and we're speaking with Don Pelles, and we're learning all about hypnosis, and now I'm really interested in about the self-hypnosis, and maybe you can give us tips to our audience and how they can utilize it.
Okay. Well, for one thing, if you've ever done guided meditation, that's hypnosis. And there are lots of recordings and stuff you can access on that, apps.
Yeah.
One way to take yourself into an altered state, I call being, and you can start out with your eyes closed. You get in touch, just become aware of everything you can hear all at the same time, just like you're floating in a sea of sound. And then you can open your eyes if you like, and but keep them out of focus. Just be aware of all the colors and shapes in front of your eyes, and at the same time everything you can hear. This is a sensory overload. And then you become aware, bring in everything you feel, all at the same time. And if there are any smells or tastes, bring them aware.
And you do that with your eyes closed?
No, well, your eyes are usually open, but just kind of staring off into space.
Okay.
Although you can do it with your eyes closed.
Like kind of like a soft stare.
But so you're sitting, so you're sitting there simultaneously aware of everything coming into your 5 senses.
So just really being mindful of the present.
Just trying to be aware of all of it at the same time. Of course, nobody can really do that. But it requires that you soften your focus, and it's like you're just floating in a sea of perception. That's one way to do it.
And it cuts out like everything that you might be worrying about in the future, things that happened in the past. You're really just there, just being.
You're just being.
You're just being.
So that's one way. Another is, I guide people through this, but you just close your eyes, take yourself inside, occupy all the space inside your body, all at one time. And then...
How does somebody do that? You kind of focus on, like, you're starting out at your feet, how does somebody occupy the space in the body?
Well, there are different ways, but I just say occupy all the space in your body from the top of your head all the way down to your feet, all the way down to your fingertips. And I might give some examples, places you don't usually think about, like the back of your head, your left elbow, your right kneecap. Some people imagine a beautiful light inside that's shining into every part of you. Okay? Then you intensify that state. Like if you're feeling a tingle in your hand or something, just let it spread and make it more intense until it just fills your whole body. And you just sit there in that state for a while.
Wow.
If you want to see me guiding you through it, it's a little more elaborate, but I have a video on YouTube, Finding the Zone.
Okay, Finding the Zone.
Finding the Zone, and you can look under my name, Pelles.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we can watch that and kind of like,
And then
feel
I
like
guide you through it once, and then you can probably do it by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
progressive relaxation is another one. A lot of times, a lot of people do this, they don't even call it hypnosis, but it is.
Yeah, they call it meditation or...
So you might start with your feet, relaxing everything in your feet, letting that relaxation just spread up your lower legs, your thighs, all the way up to your head, down to your fingertips. You do it usually more slowly than that. But and by the time you get up there, you have a nice trance state going.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't realize that it was hypnosis necessarily, but I do that sometimes before I go to sleep. That it really relaxes me.
Yeah, it's self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
And once you know what it feels like, it's like there's a switch in your brain. You can just flip that switch and go there.
It's really amazing because I do lead guided visualizations for people in my private practice. I do laughter therapy.
Well, you're a hypnotist.
So at the end, I end with a guided visualization, and then sometimes people are sleeping at the end of it. But I do it so often that I get so relaxed that my fingertips are tingling, and I feel that relaxation. So now, even when I just started and I'm talking, I start feeling it in my body.
And
like
you're feeling it now, right?
My body snaps right into that feeling. Like I don't even have to do that whole, and I'm one leading it, but I feel it, myself.
Well, when you're doing hypnosis with somebody, like we say, you go there first.
Oh, I didn't realize that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a good hypnotist is basically in trance the whole time themselves.
Because they're focusing, Yeah, but it's so interesting because right away I feel that tingling in my fingertips and I start to feel it.
And if you could just, it'd be easy to just guide you into a trance from that.
Yeah, it's funny because I lead it so often, so I just snap right into it.
Sure.
Even if I just put the music on, it's like already.
And that's the best way to do it when you're in trance yourself.
Yeah.
Because then it's kind of,
Yeah, just listening. I guess it's like a trigger.
Sure.
So.
And you can do that. Another way is in hypnosis, you can tell somebody whenever you say such and such to yourself. Or one trigger I had was just rubbing your thumb and forefinger together. You'll just go into that state.
Yeah.
And it just becomes automatic.
Oh, that's a good tip. So what's the difference? We've been using these words interchangeably. Are they different, the word hypnosis and being in a trance, or is a trance part of hypnosis?
They're not really different. Now, it's possible, like a person in hypnosis, we think of them as kind of, slumped over or something, but you can talk in hypnosis, you can walk, and you can suggest to somebody even deep in hypnosis, that you're just going to act normal, like you're not, but they're still in hypnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, if like for instance, I was given a tape to listen to,
Right.
And so that puts somebody in like a deeper state? They listen to something over and over again.
It depends on the tape. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's a skill. Hypnosis is a skill, self-hypnosis. And as you learn it, you can do more with it. You can take yourself deeper. And that's kind of fun.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I wanted to ask you, there's so many, just curious about so many different things,
Yeah.
but some of the things that I've read that you do is help people with weight loss.
Right.
You call it like virtual...
Virtual gastric band.
Yeah.
There's no cutting.
There's no surgery involved.
No surgery, but in hypnosis, I guide you through an operation. Have you imagine having that gastric band operation.
Wow, so you feel like you've actually had it.
You feel like you've had it, yeah.
You react.
And like your stomach is smaller.
So you
and
feel like
there's some
you're
rules
full.
to go with it, yeah. So you get full faster. So rules like 3 small meals a day, but people don't feel deprived because they're getting full more quickly. And that enables the person to change their eating habits over the course of about a month. And once you've changed your eating habits, you can be kind of whatever size and shape you want to be.
Wow. So just by going to your few sessions, the person can feel like their stomach has actually shrunken and that they actually will feel fuller.
Right. We do that in the first session, and then we reinforce it some. And when somebody, especially somebody losing a lot of weight, I like to continue to work with them at longer and longer intervals the whole time they're losing weight. So I'm not just going to do a few sessions and then turn you loose to lose 50 or 75 pounds.
Yeah.
Because we'll keep working together. Although people can do it on their own. I worked with a guy about 5 or 6 years ago. He came in at 420 pounds. He actually said he was 400. He was embarrassed to tell me it was 420. Really? Yeah.
Oh.
And we worked together for a while, I don't know, several months. And he's continued to lose weight. He's now down to, I think he's down to about 250.
Well, he had the motivation there because otherwise he wouldn't have come to you to begin with,
Well, being
right?
that heavy, he lost his kidneys.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
So
there's
he's
a lot
on
of health
dialysis,
issues.
but now, having brought his weight down, he's going to be on the transplant list. But
where before he wouldn't have been able to. So,
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So you basically have saved, help him save his life.
That's right.
I
remember
that must be
him,
very rewarding.
I remember him coming to me and in one session and say, "My car broke down. I had to walk a half a mile. and It about killed me."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, you weigh 400 pounds. What do you expect?"
Yeah.
I said, "If you were a 200-pound man carrying a 200-pound backpack, try doing that for a half a mile."
Yeah. So one of the other things you do is help people with mental training and, sports hypnosis and mental training in general. Does it help with ADHD?
Well, I don't know. I've never specifically had a person say, "I want help with ADHD." I would ask the person, "What are you experiencing?" Because ADHD is a label.
Well, maybe I think that, for instance, the person that wanted me to ask you this question maybe wanted to maybe help with concentration or
Concentration,
focusing.
Yeah, I could help somebody with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
And also how they feel about how they feel. Yeah. Because somebody with that kind of diagnosis is likely to be really anxious about it and maybe feel there's certain things they shouldn't do or attempt. Yeah.
And you can help with sports?
Sports, yes.
Because I know like that's really a big
There's
thing
a
with
lot
the
of
Olympics.
anxiety with athletes, a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of, and which is really bad, so don't be anxious.
Yeah.
But athletic performance is about relaxation. Like if you're running or or dancing or something, you want all the muscles to be relaxed except the ones you're actually using. Because if I'm trying to lift my leg, but the back of my leg is tense, it's gonna my muscles are going to be working against each other. So relaxation is really important.
So you work with a lot of athletes, I imagine.
I work with athletes, yes.
That's amazing.
To enhance performance, on the anxiety.
And I know you also work with smoking cessation,
Smoking
you know.
cessation, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so there's
that's
so many
really
things that you can
successful.
help with.
When I call them a year later, between 75 and 80% are still smoke-free that have gone through my 3 sessions.
Wow. That's amazing. 3 sessions?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And
incredible.
they're amazed too.
So-
I never thought, people say, I never thought I could do this.
So I know people are going to want to contact you. So can you give us your website, Don? I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
The website, I work with, I'm part of Nova Hypnosis and Wellness, and the website is www.novahypnosisandwellness.com, N-O-V-A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
This
So
says
and I
Nova
wanted
is Northern Virginia, but this is Northern Virginia.
Yeah, the old DC
and my
area.
office is here in Kensington.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you one last question, and it's like, you know, for you yourself, what have you found to be the most useful type of hypnosis?
I do think, so a lot of what I do is called NLP, neurolinguistic programming. And coming out of NLP is, or part of NLP really is 2 processes. One is called core transformation, and the other is called wholeness. And wholeness especially, I would really regard it as a form of self-hypnosis.
Wow.
Because
so
I can use it to go to sleep. I can use it if I'm starting to have any pain or headache, say, or just if I feel uneasy about something. And basically, I mean, I can't teach you the whole thing here, but
so
what
we're
I'll
running
do
out
is,
of time, so we
okay.
want to hear more about it. So maybe we'll hear about it in the future. And if they want to contact you, they know to contact you through your website. So thank you so much for being my guest today. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Don Pelles. And I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy. And stay tuned for my next segment of What's Good to Know. See you soon. Hi, I'm Nira Berry, Life and Happiness Coach, and now it's time for What's Good to Know. And What's Good to Know is part of my series on success at work and in life. It's all about mindfulness. And mindfulness really is a buzzword right now, right? You hear it all the time. But what's it all about? So it really refers to your state of mind, and it's characterized by awareness and attention to the present moment, and by accepting curiosity and a non-judgmental attitude, which can really reduce your stress and really boost your concentration. And it's really a key skill for happiness. And we could do it wherever we are. And you can do this to really reduce your stress and to also help with your management skills and manage different situations, whether or not it's at work or at home. And it also helps you make wiser choices. And it's a skill that anybody can learn and benefit from. And all you have to do is start by observing and really try to be mindful of your surroundings and be aware. And so here's a tip. Walk into a room and what do you see? You just really pay attention. What do you see? Like really look at like what the room's color is, the shape, and really what do you feel? Like what do you feel when you're in that room? And so don't judge it, just notice it. And so every time that you go someplace, really just pay attention to it. And also, you can also look for things that really are a thing of beauty or wonder and take a moment to appreciate that. And this is really a skill that will really follow you throughout your life and you really benefit from, and you'll see that it'll help you in all areas of your life. So just try it out and let me know how it goes. I'm Nira Berry, the Life and Happiness Coach, and I'm your host of Happy and Healthy. And if you want to contact me with any questions, feel free to contact me at info@niraberry.com. So you've been watching Happy and Healthy, and I hope you have a happy day.